Hello and welcome to Crypto Interviews. My name is Claudio and this is Crypto Auction, the channel that brings you crypto news, reviews, tutorials, and interviews with a focus on the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem. And talking about focus on the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystems, joining me today is Jay Chrawnna, who's actually got a YouTube channel as well. You can find the link both in the pinned comment of this video and in the description. To his channel if you're interested. He talks a lot about Polkadot and Kusama, and I actually asked him to come on just so he can kind of share his view on the latest with the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem, the auctions, the parachains, the progress. How does he feel about it? Because we have seen the market take a huge plunge and Polkadot has been badly affected too. I know that's kind of outside of our control because it's all about the whale movement and all that, but Jay, welcome. Do you want to introduce yourself to people who don't know who you are?
Well, that was a great introduction, and thanks a lot for having me. Hello to all your audience members. Yeah, my name is Jay Chrawnna, and a year ago, I started making content about the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystems. After searching around for a little bit I wanted to dedicate my attention to one ecosystem, a place where I thought the puck was going to be. And yeah, it's my full-time job. I just love making content, sharing information, and also encouraging others to make content as well. Because as we know, the Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem are just growing at an insane rate. And the ability for people to make informed decision diminishes the more information there is. So that's kind of the problem we're trying to solve at my channel and also in a group of creators we have called WagMedia.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you've been doing a lot of content on the Polkadot news, a lot like myself, but the way you present it is definitely in a more, let's say, fun way because you try to make some jokes as well along the way when you're presenting it. So definitely on the plus side there. And let's talk a bit about ChaosDAO as well. You're also part of ChaosDAO, right, on Discord.
Yeah, yes, I'm part of ChaosDAO as well. Really, as a result of being in the right place at the right time, I was making content alongside Alice and Bob. If you don't follow him on Twitter yet, I would definitely recommend it. And he started this group, ChaosDAO, and just invited a lot of active community members into it. And it grew into the chaotic mess it is today. An amazing place to be. If you ever get an invite to join, definitely a good place to dedicate a lot of your time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I mean, ChaosDAO is great because you've got different groups there on Discord for the different parachains, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of team members from parachains in ChaosDAO and a lot of discussions around each individual parachain. The other cool thing about ChaosDAO is that a lot of people who come in, and people get invited based on their contributions to the ecosystem, a lot of people who come in end up working for projects full time. There's a lot of people who've transitioned from their real life jobs to full-time work in the ecosystem. And that's what ChaosDAO is. It's a group of builders. And that's what we need in Dotsama is people to build out this amazing concept.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm guessing a lot of those are becoming community members, but also admins, right? For some of the groups, for some of those parachains, and they're making their income from that basically, right?
Yeah, admins or marketing people or community people. Like Alice and Bob himself, he's the I don't really know what his role is at the moment, but he's basically the community manager of Mangata. And if you've heard about Mangata yet and you've seen all of their involvement, I mean, that's his work right there. But he's just one of many people.
Yeah. So yeah, let's talk about the Kusama and the Polkadot parachains. I mean,
Sure.
we know there was a lot of hype last year, right? When the Kusama parachains kicked off in June with the very first batch, and everyone was hyped up about that, myself included. I contributed a lot to the Moon River Crowdloan, thankfully, because that was, I know that was one of the best ones to contribute to.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was one of them, right? But then as we got to batch 3, we kind of noticed that the sentiment is kind of dying out. And I don't know if you've noticed that as well. And then by batch 4, things were not as they used to be. So what's your take on that? I mean, do you think that was just some initial hype like we get with everything when something's new? And do you think we're going to get that back, or what's your take on that?
Well, I can really only talk out of my ass about this because I don't really know everything that's involved. You're asking if it was a result of hype. I mean, certainly there was a lot of hype. I mean, I remember back then people were saying like, it's going to be like ICOs, right? You're going to like invest in this project, you're going to get tokens, and then you're going to be able to flip them for incredibly high rates and then get your KSM back. I mean, hype is one word, but another word for it was just like a total misunderstanding of what these were. I think that the trend, let me think about this. I think that when these projects were trying to get onto Kusama, what do I want to say here? Let me think about this, because I don't want to step on any toes. Like I know there's been some other problems, some other issues, like the actual relay chain tech wasn't supporting the visions that these projects were promising from the beginning, such as like cross-chain communication and these sort of things, which are just coming to light now, almost a year later. But I also wonder if there might be a move toward like projects launching on Kusama being a lot closer to the test net. You know, projects launching with very small functionality, and they're building up a community from a valueless test net to a test net with value to something that's live, and that's kind of growing, you know, more like from a seed into something with a lot of utility. What we experienced when the Kusama parachains first happened was like promises for a massive amount of utility, and then like 6 months where nothing was happening, where we had tokens but we couldn't do anything with it. Something that's been really frustrating is, you know, there's these vesting schedules on these tokens, but you know, there's parachains where transactions haven't even been unlocked yet. So like, yeah, okay, like I'm technically getting unlocked tokens in my account, but I can't move them around. They're not listed on any marketplaces or anything. So we're just kind of like trapped with these useless tokens, and our KSM has been locked up as well.
Yeah.
So I really do understand the frustration that people are having with parachains. But yeah, I kind of envision in the future like a lot more kind of dirty, chaotic development from the ground up emerging on Kusama, like a lot lower barrier of entry, and then really more polished things going on to Polkadot. The other thing I haven't really understood is projects just jumping onto Polkadot when they don't have anything running on Kusama yet. Like I understand this idea of wanting to be first movers, but you know, if there's nothing to play with yet.
Yeah, I actually had a
it's not a good
discussion
look.
with I had a discussion about that today with one of the founders from a project, and he explained to me that it's to do with exchanges as well. Exchanges are more likely to support the Polkadot auctions than the Kusama ones. I mean, we know for Kusama that MEXC are supporting, KuCoin are supporting, Kraken are supporting.
Yeah.
But for Polkadot, there's Binance, right? And that's where all the hype is, also Huobi. So that's one of the reasons why projects are now going to Polkadot. And it's also easier because you don't have as much competition. Well, we could argue maybe right now you still do, maybe until a few more parachains connect. But I guess that by the next batch, we're going to see the same situation as with Kusama by the looks of it.
Yeah. I mean, the market's a big factor of that too, right? Like it's just such early days in Kusama, and like it's just not really built out at all. And we don't really have the participation. We don't have the eyes on it. We don't have the volume to really support like this vision that we had originally of the parachains.
Yeah. And I guess this is why Moon River has been doing so well as well, right? Because they've been
Moon River did well.
That have actually delivered, right? I mean,
exactly.
You're not just holding those tokens without any utility. You need to use those tokens kind of like you're using Ethereum on Uniswap. You need to have pairs on those DEXs that are getting deployed to Moon River network. And that's what we didn't foresee, I guess, at the beginning. Many of us, I didn't either, to be honest. I purely went into the Moon River crowdloan because of the tokenomics and because of the backers. I mean, when I saw Binance, Coinbase are backing them, I saw the tokenomics with the low supply, 30% allocated to the crowdloan. I thought, okay, this is a gem. I think it's going to do better than Karura in terms of price. So I'm going to go into this. But I didn't foresee that all those DEXs are going to need Moon River for utility, because if I would have actually held a lot of that Moon River for longer. Unfortunately, I was one of the few that sold earlier on the very first day. I sold quite a big batch, but it is what it is, right? You can't nail them all. So
no, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I wonder too, like, you know, just because Kusama was launched first, and there's like this perception of Polkadot as the real deal. But like Kusama is actually the real deal. Like it has the functionality right now. Polkadot isn't going to be the real deal until much later, right? Until like it's not going to have all that amazing functionality until it's already proven on Kusama. So I do wonder if during the initial Kusama crowd loans, if if you know, Kusama was kind of being treated like a Polkadot in itself, like a place where totally complete projects are going to launch and they're just going to work all together, instead of being used as like a quick and dirty place for experimentation and chaos, which I think is its true value. If Kusama is just pretending to be Polkadot, then you, I think there's a huge missed opportunity there.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. And we'll have to see, I mean, how things progress in that sense, because now we're kind of seeing the switch over. I mean, you're seeing a new project pop up now and again on Kusama, but there's no competition. I mean, they know that they can win the parachain auction straight away, right? I mean, you're talking about 2 or 3 waiting in the list, and then, you know,
but I think that's okay though. Like, I like that low barrier of entry. You know, like I like projects being able to like roll in and take advantage of the security and build up a community and everything, rather than promising a lot and us all waiting around. You know, like this one small project, and this is not an endorsement because I've not looked into them enough, but is KICO. Their main project is called DICO, DICO.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they discouraged people from contributing to the crowd loan. They told people not to contribute, right?
Why?
I mean, people, well, I don't know why, but in their documents, they just didn't want the responsibility, I guess, but they did want the security and everything else Kusama offers. And people did contribute, but like, you know, they were only a few batches ago, and now they're showing off like a DEX and liquidity pools. And, you know, I just think that's cool. Like, it's a small project. They're not leading with hype. They're leading with the tech.
Yeah.
Again, not an endorsement. Maybe it's like, you know, but just something that was catching my eye.
I honestly thought they were the shadiest crowd loan on Kusama when I first saw them, just looking at their
Yes.
website. But
Yeah,
now
because
that you
it's
told me this, I mean, I find it interesting because I didn't expect it.
yeah, I don't, like I said, I don't know anything about them, but it seems like it's maybe like 1 or 3 people, like just something trying to build something cool. It's like an ICO launchpad, a decentralized
Yeah,
ICO launchpad. So I don't
exactly.
know. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. No, it's good to know. And it just shows you don't judge a book by its cover too soon, right? I mean, give them time, see what they do, see what they bring to the table. I think I didn't also, the other thing I didn't like about them was the allocation for crowd loaners, maybe, and that was the reason for it,
That
right?
was the
Because they didn't
reason.
want
Yeah,
people to contribute. Yeah, they
exactly.
had a really small percentage, right, allocated to the.
Yeah, almost no incentive to contribute.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, now let's. I'm gonna ask you about your favorite project. So across Kusama and Polkadot, tell me your top 3 favorite projects. I mean, seeing their progress so far, ones that you trust are gonna do well, maybe in the near future, that haven't progressed so far, but you do believe in the teams and so on. Like, what would be the ones that you'd pick? Like your top 3. And it's not that you're dissing on others that you do support, but it's just the ones that you feel more closely attached to, let's say, because of their progress or what they've done.
Well, you know, I don't make predictions, and I'm also not seeing this ecosystem through the eyes of like short-term investing by any means. I'm really looking for the projects. I'm really paying attention to and sharing information about the projects who are actively building and solving problems. Um, a few projects that pop into mind there. There's so many cool projects. I'll probably give you like a bunch of.
Start with your number 3, with the lowest pick out of the top 3.
Okay, I don't know, in no particular order. One project that I'm curious about, but is super high risk because the vision is so big, is Composable Finance and Picasso. What I love about them is that they're hiring a lot. It seems to be a really solid team. They're pushing the limits of what's possible. You know, one of the most exciting things they're doing is they're working on the code on both Cosmos and on the Polkadot side to smash these 2 ecosystems together and make them speak the same language, as well as a pretty expansive bridging system to Ethereum. Well, yeah, they'd call it something. Yeah. So Picasso and Composable, that's a really interesting team and project. A lot of execution risk, but I really like their passion and what they're trying to do.
One Pika token, sir.
Yeah, I don't know.
We're still waiting.
Yes, of course.
Yeah,
Yes, of
yeah.
course. What else do we have there? I really like Mangata Finance. You know, they're doing the DEX thing. They're solving the MEV. But what I really like about them is that they're a niche DEX, right? They're not trying to be everything. They're trying to do one thing really, really, really well.
Yeah.
And their community building strategy has been phenomenal. And I think they're going to be, I think they're going to be great in the ecosystem.
Question for you. Did you manage
Sure.
to get into their crowd loan?
Yes, I did.
Wow. So you're fast, because we only had like an hour to do so.
Yeah, that was pretty tight.
I was
That,
outside when that happened, so I missed it.
ah,
Yeah.
oh yeah, but that's a testament to the community and to the planning and also like that niche focus rather than like trying to become, you know, the Walmart of something. They really developed their targeted community and just got them so excited, got them all worked up. Okay, a new project coming on the scene. Yeah, would be Touring and Oak.
Yeah.
I think that is very cool. We just interviewed David on my channel, their growth manager, and that's automation on the blockchain. So if you know things that we do all the time on Web2, you know, subscription services, payroll, you could do like dollar cost averaging, um, limit orders, things like this. They're going to actually put that on the blockchain, and like they're connecting with Mangata, and they're looking for other partners to create these automated events. So you know we can spend less time in front of the computer and more time creating an automated system that's going to suit our individual goals. So I think they're a really cool project as well. But of course, like Zeitgeist, I'm excited about. I'm excited about a star and a moonbeam, obviously.
What about BitCountry Pioneer?
I'm not too personally interested in BitCountry, although I'm excited about what they're doing. The metaverse thing is exciting. I'm paying attention to it, but like it's slightly less interesting to me personally.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I'd say about them. But like no shade at BitCountry, like those guys are doing awesome work. Yeah, I mean other note, like obviously I want to shout out Subsocial. They're super cool. I use them all the time.
Remark?
Well, like obviously Remark is cool.
Everyone talks about Remark. I can't believe we didn't mention Remark.
Well, I thought we were doing parachains projects, but
I know, I was just joking. I was just joking.
but like if you
No.
want to go there, like also very excited about Moonsama, and Remark and
Yeah.
Moonsama are great examples of of people who like started with something very, very small, projects who started with something very, very small and then built utility over time, and constantly feeding their community more and more opportunities to use what they're building. And yeah, I think both those teams have been just wicked.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've nailed it. And yeah, we have to see how things go, because my concern right now is just, I mean, it is the market at the end of the day. We have to keep in mind that I'm pretty sure we are in a bear market, even though professional traders don't really like to call it, right?
Mm.
We are getting the vibe. I don't know how long you've been in crypto. I've started in 2017. And so
Mm.
I have had the misfortune of witnessing the bear market for 2 full years. Well, let's say 2.5, because it lasted during the beginning of the pandemic in 2020 as well for a while before the market started picking up, and then the hype was back in and everyone was building and hyping, and a mix of the two. Whereas now what I'm seeing is building is taking over, which is good, right? Because now the teams that really want to deliver are stepping away from the hype, and they don't care about the tweets so much, but they're just focusing on actually delivering. And then when they're tweeting that they've delivered this or that, right? And I think that's really important.
I totally agree with you there. And yeah, the really cool thing about Polkadot Kusama is that the vision is pretty long. Like in order to really appreciate what's going on, like I think like a 3, 5, maybe even longer year time horizon is really going to suit you if you're putting your capital into this ecosystem. And I think that really like rubs off into into a lot of people's perspective who are participating in this ecosystem, and a lot of people who are coming in for like the short-term gains or like scammers or anything like that, like they kind of bounce off the ecosystem. Like we haven't had a lot of situations where scammers like really burrow in and get a hold before they take off. We've had some on the NFTs on a star recently. Like there's an example. I'm sure we've had some on Moon River as well.
Oh yeah, lots of rubs on Moon River as well. Yeah,
sure. But as far as like the core infrastructure goes, like the people who are in it for the longest, those are the people that are sticking around and building. And I think maybe other people get bored or something of the ecosystem. But so far, it's been pretty good in that way.
Yeah, but I mean, how are you seeing? I mean, talking to the community, and maybe mostly on Discord, because I'm mostly on Telegram, you're mostly on Discord, but talking to the community and just kind of seeing things going. I mean, do you not get the feel that a lot of people are in it for the tech, but then are getting frustrated that they're not seeing the returns of their investment?
I see that in comments. I see that around in comments, but I'm not really hanging out with those people too much. I mean, I spend most of my time in WagMedia, which is a Discord where we're incentivizing the sharing of information and the creation of content from that information. So like I spend most of my time around people who are like settled in the ecosystem, are passionate enough about it to constantly to want to learn about it, and not only learn about it, but share about it. So maybe these people are outliers, and maybe there is a huge cohort of people who are absolutely pissed off with, you know, their quote unquote investments not working out immediately, but
Yeah.
not I guess not in the groups that I'm in right now.
Right, understandable. Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, but I have noticed though, because I've been in it from the early days when I used to follow the Neo ecosystem, and I've noticed that with Polkadot and Kusama on the bright side compared to other ecosystems is that it does attract more techies. So you tend to find people that ask really good questions, like smart questions, questions that maybe you and I might not even think about. And it's amazing. It's amazing the kind of people that Polkadot and Kusama attracts. And that's definitely on the plus side. I mean, as soon as I saw that, I knew that this is an ecosystem that you want to stick around in, because we're not only talking to Moon Boys, but we're talking to people who are basically interested in the tech and also want to learn more, and are actually have they actually have value to bring. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we're not just going to the moon. We're actually trying to build a little base there, establish ourselves, you know.
On Mars.
Yeah, exactly. We're just
make
gonna
it breathable, you know, terraform Mars.
That's right. It's a long process, but we'll get there. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Thank you very much, Jay. I appreciate you coming on and sharing your thoughts on this. And I hope to have you on again. And yeah, thank you for watching as well. And if you have any comments, drop them in the comment section below. And don't forget to follow Jay on Twitter, and also follow him on YouTube. Subscribe to his channel. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.